Well, that took exactly 0 seconds. MaxPax has a suspicious probe already out on the map. I guess if you're playing the top power ranked player in the world, you probably want to do something other than a standard game. Yes, our Terran player in the bottom right is a gem without phlegm. He is Clem!
Current world rank 1.
Team Liquid now boasts the scariest player in all of Starcraft. MaxPax is looking to plant a proxy pylon. Is it possible to hit Clem with something he has not seen before? I mean, a strategy in the game, obviously. I mean, you could hit him with a hammer or a baseball bat, and he probably wouldn't see that coming. But just so you know, the League generally frowns on that kind of activity. So it is a proxy gate. What else could it be coming out this fast, this early? Aristotle says all things in moderation, but he obviously wasn't talking about Paxes. Because when it comes to Paxes, you want the MaxPax!
Current world rank 23.
And that, my friends, should set the stage for this best of 3. Game 1 is, of course, on Romanticide. Clem's gonna pop into MaxPax's base and find a few things missing, like everything. Let's see how he reacts. He's gotta take it to at least DEFCON 4. Oh, he's pulling back his SCV from the natural. He's got the minerals. Yeah, he's gonna build it on the high ground. He still needs another depot if he wants a sealed wall. No, MaxPax is gonna add in the gas cap. Makes it harder for your opponent to tech up. Maybe delay the factory. But that is gonna cost him a probe, and it's gonna award Clem the first blood. No zealots coming out of that gate. MaxPax is waiting for his cyber core. He doesn't care that he's been discovered. He wants stalkers or adepts. Clem's a busy bee, finishing his wall, getting that reactor. And that SCV is wigging out, waiting for enough gas to put down that factory. Oh, and there's also a bunker for good measure. The response almost looks like Clem's expecting a void ray rush. Core completes, and it's an adept getting chrono boosted out. And then that emergency shield battery is being made in MaxPax's mineral line to protect it from a counterattack. So no tech choice and no warp gates. But he is going to get his Nexus to finish at his natural. Ah, there we go. He starts up a Stargate, but it's not a proxy. He's making it back at home. Interesting, that's very different. Adept shows up, but nobody's home. The bunker's empty. Clem's building a pair of Marines who will probably look to fill it. Clem's first 2 Marines are busy dealing with that gas cap. Clem has no fear. He's just making that orbital right in front of that Adept. Adept has to pull back when the Marines arrive. A second one is being made out of the gateway. The Stargate is just about done. Very interested to see what's coming out of there. Tech lab going on that factory. If he's expecting a void ray, he probably wants a cyclone. Oh, a show of confidence. Clem's gonna land his command center. He advances with his Marines to cover it. The Adepts kill the SCV Clem was trying to sneak out to scout, but they can't get inside the main, and they pull back. Warp gate research begins, but it's still only a single gateway. I'm starting to feel like MaxPax was faking a rush here. Adepts are good against unstimmed Marines, but not at the numbers Clem's rocking. He's making them 3 at a time now, and he is adding that Cyclone. It's a Phoenix coming out of that gateway. And not just one, the first one's waiting for the second one to join up. And then MaxPax makes a Robo. Cyclone's gonna find that proxy, or should I say, fake proxy. Clem's got a tech lab on that second factory. He's researching stim with it now, and he's starting his starport. MaxPax is actually gonna get supply blocked. When is the Dominion gonna learn destroying crystals is bad for your chakra? Oh, Clem is attacking early. This is pre-stim. I guess Clem's thinking, I made all these units defensively. I plan to use them. It's the right call. MaxPax does not have a lot of units right now. He is up to 3 Phoenix, but that's pretty much it. Oh, a shield battery at his natural will definitely help here. Oh, when he really needs to keep those Adepts home. Never mind. MaxPax's Nexus at the natural is close to a battery charge, but it doesn't have enough for one. I'm sure he's regretting his last chrono boost. Clem tries to move on the third base, but he finds it's not there. MaxPax starts an immortal. Oh, that adept is gonna die. MaxPax is actually gonna risk teching up right now. He just put down a robotics support base. And speaking of bays, Clem has an eBay and has started +1. Well, I was certainly wrong about that adept. He managed to delay a ton of Marines. He didn't kill any SCVs, but there was real value in keeping half of Clem's army back. And unable to get past that shield battery, Clem is heading home, only to be harassed by Blue Squadron. Oh, I love watching Marines get lifted. They writhe around and get all squirmy. That was very effective, but it might not work once Clem packs his Marines up into a big ball. Oh, he deprioritizes killing off that unpowered gateway. Ah, it's because Stim's about to finish, and it is one of the most important Terran doctrine. Right before Stim finishes, thou shalt attack. Clem knows he's late and he's heading out, and look who's picking off the reinforcements. Blue Squadron, making a presence. Clem's gonna arrive with less Marines than he expected, including this poor straggler. This is like a bad horror movie. You never want to be that one guy who goes off alone. Stay with the group, man. Stay with the group. There, look how effective those Marines are in a fist. Whatever Phoenix tries to lift, they can focus it down. You see how a Clem always separates one guy to go up first? He always wants just a single unit to take that hit. It's to force an overkill and make your opponent waste part of their volley. Of course, here the Marine actually survived. And now Clem's in a position to be able to delay that third. He's actually starting his own third at the same time. Oh, MaxPax needs to save that base. He needs to save it. He opts to cancel it. Oh, he could have used that Colossi 10 seconds earlier. Clem sees it and pulls out. He knows his job is done. Oh, adept in the natural. Can he get the shade away again? No. No, he cannot. MaxPax going for a second Colossus and Colossus range. So this is like giving me Wings of Liberty chills. This is the old Phoenix Colossi build. The idea is that your opponent is going to make Vikings to stop the Colossi, but they're going to get tanked by the Phoenix. But that hasn't really worked in a long time. But I guess if your opponent's making too many Marines and not enough Marauders, it could. Clem's got his combat shields to go with his +1 in Stim. Clem never misses an observer. He just never misses them. Clem takes a peek up that ramp and decides to go for it. Great force field split for MaxPax, but Clem with the hot pickup, saving as much as possible and dropping it behind that force field. MaxPax's Phoenix have delayed Clem's third yet again. If he could somehow hold this and get his own third up, he'd be in good shape. The problem is Clem's got the bigger army and he's got the best range with those tanks right now. Colossus range is only halfway done. Oh, Clem's gonna cliff him. He's got vision with the medevacs. Clem finally chases away those Phoenix and manages to get his third going again. Oh, and Terran's looking pretty entrenched. How can Protoss dislodge that? He's got to somehow kill the medevacs, but there's a lot of them. Oh yeah, the Marines just punish him for trying. Clem leapfrogs his tanks even closer, and now he's going to try to Marine drop inside the main. Oh, MaxPax is going to eat tank here. Thank the stars for those shield batteries. Even the Phoenix can't work freely because of the Cyclone. The Marines are going to pick off a gas here, and then the medevac is going to save them all. Behind all of this, Clem is starting to get too big a supply lead. Look at all these Marauders hustling forward. I don't know that the Colossi can kill them fast enough. MaxPax needs Clem to attack into a battery overcharge or something. But Clem's not going to do it. He's pulling back. And MaxPax is going to use the respite to start a fourth base. Oh, which Clem's going to pick up immediately. Clem is so good at keeping tabs on where his opponent is economically. Oh, MaxPax is swinging to the right. Everybody's converging on that nascent fourth. Oh, great kill on that Marine, but here comes the big one. Big time Terran army coming. What is the power of Phoenix Colossi in the current meta? Phoenix lifts on the tanks, but the Marines focus the lifting Phoenixes down, and the tanks in the back shell the Colossi. Clem's Vikings are now on even par with the Phoenix. That is not a good sign. MaxPax has no functioning batteries here. He is going to pick up charge though. He could sure use some zealots to screen right now. No, Clem showing the power of that Viking range. And he has no intention of letting that battery finish. The Phoenix have way more health, 180 to 135. But as long as those Vikings are covered by those Marines, it just doesn't matter. MaxPax has to retreat to his third. Can he hold there? Ah, the charge lots have arrived. The tanks fire at the zealots and the colossi can get some shots in. MaxPax is about to go even on upgrades. Can he just hold on? Clem has a window to go for the jugular. Forget upgrades, his army's almost twice the size. Most of that's back at home, he's not reinforcing. He's looking to beat his opponent with what he's got here. A clever drop into the main, but colossi are wall walkers. They can get right up in there. It's kind of weird that there's no rally here for Terran. It's a bit artificial. Clem's forces are fighting with one hand behind their back. MaxPax is holding, but don't buy it. That big red blob at the bottom of the minimap is Clem's next army. Oh, MaxPax has actually started up a new fourth. It's at his triangular third. If Clem doesn't find out about that, it's a way he could get back into this game. It's actually not that far off from completion either. Clem has finished a fourth, but he's still got to fly it over. But the real story is this army, and it is heavy on the Marauders. Unlike Marines, Marauders count as armored, not light. The Colossi don't get their killer bonus damage. The Marauders can power through a couple of burns and then drop those Colossi. Clem's original army has discovered the fourth base, and this time it is gonna get reinforced. He has to sack that, but he can't afford to. Oh, he's gonna commit. The charge lots will help, but it's just a numbers game here. MaxPax sees it. He's not going to play it out. GG. That was kind of decisive. So, I'm not entirely sure exactly what MaxPax was trying to do here. He seemed to open up with the variation of the build that made him famous, the one that's named after him, the MaxPax build. Just a single gate with the goal of stopping the Terran from building on the low ground at his natural. Mission accomplished, I guess. MaxPax did get a fast nexus, but it really didn't slow down Clem all that much. And then the second part of MaxPax's strategy appeared to be Colossi Phoenix in combination. This was at one time a lethal combination in Wings of Liberty. I actually thought the reason it didn't work anymore was because the Cyclone got introduced. They're not bad against Phoenix or Colossi, but that's not the way Clem handled it. You don't think Vikings are good against Phoenix? Well, watch this. But does any strategy work against Clem? I feel like I need to see this used against a Terran without superhuman capabilities. Then I could judge it more fairly. Anywho, I want to get to the next game, but I also really want to highlight one cool piece of micro. It's one of these things that happens so fast, if you blink, you miss it. MaxPax is actually going to pin Clem's Cyclone with a single force field. Which is awesome, but Clem's gonna save it just as fast. Here it is again in slow-mo. The sequence starts with Clem busting up the ramp. Clem's gonna make the decision to break for the third base. Better than fighting shield batteries. And then boof, force field to the head. Unfortunately, only a nanosecond goes by before Clem has the rescue. Honestly, how do you stop this guy? Maybe MaxPax can show us in game 2. Adjutant, if you would please.
The game begins now.
Is resistance futile? Should people even bother playing against Clem? Well, it looks like MaxPax disagrees. He's sending a probe across the map. He's in this, baby. Last time that meant a variation on the famous MaxPax build. If you're gonna go out, you might as well go out with the build with your name on it. We'll see though if he's actually doing the same thing. This time we're gonna be on Lightshade, a map which is neither particularly light nor shady. The proxy pylon will be placed just at the edge of the lateral third. Better get in an intro. The molecular state of our Terran player in the bottom right is neither a solid nor a gas. He's Liquid Clem! I'm still salivating at this amazing pickup for Team Liquid. They managed to sign him at the perfect time, right before he became top 10. Proxy Gateway is down. Clem's just sending out his scout now. So it'll be a half a minute before he gets confirmation on the proxy. He might suspect it given what happened in Game 1, but he needs to see that empty void of nothingness in the Protoss base to know for sure. We still need an intro for our underdog. Wolves hunt in packs because there's strength in numbers. Which is why our Protoss player knows if you really want strength, you want the MaxPax! Okay, so here's where the SCV gets that all-important scout. No nexus, no gateway, no chance to relax. Clem's got that confirmation. He's looking to seal up his ramp. Unlike game 1, this time a zealot's getting made. MaxPax is gonna come at him a whole lot faster. Clem will get that bunker, and there's no sign of a command center as of yet. Clem's gonna opt for a factory first instead. The zealot is charging right for that ramp. There's only 2 Marines on the field right now. But that'll be enough to hold with a depot wall. Core is gonna complete for Protoss. And this time it's a proxied Stargate. This is shaping up to look like one of those Void Ray shield battery rushes. This is actually what I thought game 1 was gonna be. Maybe that's the cleverness here. He was trying to lay false expectations for this play in game 1. Clem wants to shut down that initial pylon with his Marines, but there are 2 zealots here to say otherwise. I'd love to have been in the planning room on this one. So you 2 zealots, your job is to catch bullets with your head. We want to make sure we're able to build this giant rock. Well, I feel particularly valued. Hey, it's for the good of Ire, don't complain. Alright, pylon is up, MaxPax trying to get down a battery. Factory finishes, Clem starts a cyclone, he knows what this is. Meanwhile, the Stargate has finished, and a Void Ray is indeed in production. Clem looks to be one-basing it. He's treating this with the seriousness it deserves. The Stalker is really useful for pushing back those Marines, because they are just slowing MaxPax build down. Clem's getting a Viking. Sometimes when I watch this Void Ray shield battery rush, Terran can't even get their starport up. But MaxPax has 2 shield batteries, and that's going to translate into a Void Ray with a lot of hit points. Look at this, the Cyclone actually beats the Void Ray. Not by much, just a second or 2. And now the fun really begins. I can't remember the last time I've seen Clem respect an attack enough to actually stay on one base. Now there's no expansion for MaxPax either. This is 1 base versus 1 base. They are even on workers, with the tiebreaker going to Clem with the mules. And forget everything I just said, because Clem just started a second command center. Even if he can't land it in his natural, he can get double SCV production and double mules. MaxPax snags a depot and it supply blocks Clem. He celebrates by adding shield battery number 4. And he can hit that other depot out of range of the bunker. Clem tries a little hop out there, but that plays right into MaxPax's hand. Oh, it's a fleet beacon. The last time I saw that addition to this build, it meant Protoss was going for Tempest. It gives Protoss the advantage of that long range. Protoss can bombard the enemy while camping over top of his shield battery. Clem is still supply blocked. He's evacuated his ramp. Oh my god, could MaxPax actually take a game off of Clem? The Viking count is going up to 3. MaxPax is going to finish warp gates. He's actually got a second gateway he's building right at the natural. Is there a rule that says Terran's not allowed to make a second bunker? I feel like a bunker on the right-hand side would make this very difficult for Protoss. Oh yes, MaxPax is transitioning into Tempest. Clem's second command center finishes. He's going to turn that into an orbital. I know I've said this before, but I'm still waiting for a Protoss player to actually put down a Nexus next to all these batteries. How crazy would this be if you added battery overcharge? Look at Clem calmly leapfrogging his buildings back. He's like, I've got so much room in my base, I really don't have to park next to your shield batteries. Oh, Clem's minerals actually went up to 600 for a second there. I think maybe he went to get a cup of coffee or something. You know you're a chill player when. Yeah, it's a 1 base all in, I'll be back in 5. Okay, the Tempest is here now. Watch how it really changes the complexion of this. Clem has to pull his army back so much farther, and that makes it that much harder to snipe at the shield battery. Is he gonna sack the bunker? No, he's not gonna let MaxPax have that. SCVs with the repair. Clem is getting a siege tank. That too is gonna be a game changer. Usually Terran can't afford to stop making cyclones. It's not so much a siege tank as it is a shield battery and stalker splattering. Now it's MaxPax's turn to pull all those forces back. Oh, Clem's going after the pylons. MaxPax has to snipe that siege tank. He has to get it. He has to. Clem actually has a reactor on his starport now. He's making Vikings 2 at a time. And he's starting to hit a critical mass with the things. It doesn't really matter how many shield batteries you have if you get one shot. Clem loses a lot of Vikings, but that is a trade he'll take all day long. Clem has cleaned out the Tempest. MaxPax has cleaned up the tank. The Uber Rangers are all out of the game. And now they're back. That did not take long. This has turned into a really neat little game. Oh, and by the way, Clem has sneakily lifted off his command center. He's now got a ninja command at his 4th base location. If that doesn't get discovered and shut down, Clem's just gonna out-macro MaxPax to death. Now, I'm not sure that Tempest is a good investment anymore. The Vikings are just hungry to take it down. Pylon falls, but nothing gets unpowered. Oh, MaxPax found the ninja expand, and he sees that Clem's been dropping mules. He's also dropping tank shells, but that's a whole other story. The Tempest is actually forced to hang back away from the shield batteries. MaxPax is throwing all of his money into building more of those. He wants to get a critical mass, but that means he doesn't have the funds to do anything else. He does pony up for a single adept to try to shut down Clem's expansion. That's a game-saving positive. The problem is he still hasn't been able to shut down that tank. And now he's actually forced to build shield batteries further back instead of further forward. It's like he's got reverse momentum. The tank repositions, and now all the shield battery energy is being used to save the shield batteries. Clem's lost all his workers at his ninja expand. Neither player's mined out just yet, but we're only a couple minutes away before that starts to become a factor. Speaking of factors, I think Clem's achieving air superiority here. Look at the sheer number of his Vikings. What MaxPax would really love right now is an immortal, but he doesn't even have a rowboat. But that would let him win the ground game and take his Vikings out of the equation. Those Vikings are fearing the Tempest, by the way. Clem has made his move. The Tempest get obliterated. There's just one left, but Clem is going after it. He doesn't care about the Stalker hits. MaxPax's air is gone. His range is gone. Terran floods into the natural. The Marines are chasing the Stalkers back. MaxPax is forced to retreat all the way back to his proxy. That's where another Tempest pops out, but it's just going to get mowed down by the Vikings that have been getting repaired by SCVs for the entire time. With the air gone, the Vikings land, and I don't know what MaxPax can do anymore. Yeah, he's stopped producing. He's looking to gather himself and find the key between the F and the H. He found it. It's a classy GG. That was a fun game to end a pretty cool series. Congrats to MaxPax for making it count, but let's have the celebration for this guy. You seem to be seeing this screen an awful lot since I started casting Clem games. Okay, so the post-game analysis on this is probably as simple as Clem equals really good. But that's not really what we try to do around here, so let me see if I can at least contribute something of note. One of the cool things that I thought Clem took advantage of that helped him win this game was when he leapfrogged all his buildings back. As a starting point, the reason that this build works for Protoss is they get to camp their Void Rays over top the shield batteries. Void Rays are awesome offensively, but even after their patch, they're still a little bit flimsy. At least for their price, there's still a bit of that glass cannon thing going on there. But when Protoss parks them over top of a big array of shield batteries, they become juggernauts. Remember, with prismatic alignment, they can do bonus against armor when you need them to. But if you permit me to be Captain Obvious for a second, Protoss structures aren't mobile. Most of the Terran buildings and all of the production facilities are. In fact, one of the original design theses for the game, which never quite panned out in actuality, is that Terran was going to be extremely mobile and move their base all over the place throughout the game. Anywho, once Clem pulls back far enough, the Void Rays can't hit any important structures unless they leave the safety of the shield batteries, which to my mind defeats the entire point of the Protoss build. So what jumps out at me is, this might be the wrong map for this kind of strat. Light Shade is a pretty standard map, but one of its features is that it has a very generous main in terms of size. I mean, look at this. Clem's using barely half of what's available to him. If he needed to, he's got space to fall back a second time. In fact, Clem could have even salvaged his bunker and rebuilt it further back. That would have been really cool. If you contrast that to Beckett Industries or 2000 Atmospheres, it's a lot more snug. Anyway, I really doubt that every Terran player is executing this leapfrog back strategy. But if it becomes a thing, then I think map selection becomes a factor. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to thank one of our viewers named Alter Ego. The guy actually sponsored one of my videos and got it a bunch of views. I'd never even heard of that before, so I wanted to make sure to publicly thank the guy. Nuki and Battleduck, thank you. But I also want to thank all the people who recently subscribed. That too definitely helps the channel out. Oh, and I'm about to test out a new outro, so do let me know if you prefer the old one. It might actually be more obnoxious than the original, so do hold on to your hats. Maybe I'll alternate them or something. Anywho, from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. Commander, you're about to be rushed. Do you launch an aggressive counter-assault? Select the box in the upper left. Or turtle up and defend with everything you've got. Pick the box in the upper right. Or you can have it all. Do both and expand with a subscription to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just click the VS circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.